Hello students, we are now going to tell you very important topic. The name of the topic is Ellingham diagram. The thermodynamics behind the extraction of metals or the reduction of metal oxides to obtain the metals. What are the principles? We will be using thermodynamic principles in order to obtain metals from their oxides. Ellingham scientist used a very important graph. He made a very important graph, I am saying. But what is Ellingham diagram? First of all, what is Ellingham diagram, student? Here I have made a graph of delta F0 formations for oxides. As you can see, for oxides of metals per mole of oxygen in kilojoule per mole versus temperature. Ellingham made a very useful plots which I have shown on this blackboard on the left hand side. I will be explaining everything about this. Here what he has done, he has plotted delta F0 values, the standard Gibbs free energy of formation of oxides. You can see these are all oxides, formation of oxides from these elements: magnesium, zinc, iron, copper, which are the most important ones for us because we are interested in the extraction of zinc from zinc oxide, iron from iron oxide, copper from copper oxide. And you can see the values are given in, these are the negative values. As you go down, what you are observing in the graph, students, I will explain everything about these graphs. As you are going down, the delta 0F values are becoming more negative down the graph. And as you are going up, the delta G0F values are becoming less negative. Very important point, because we will tell you why we are doing that. Here you can see this graph is between delta 0F and temperature. This is the temperature in Kelvin scale. As you can see in this, minus 1200, minus 1100, and as I am going higher and higher, the value is becoming less negative, and this is the value of Gibbs free energy 0, and above this the value is positive. Now what is the purpose of all this? How it will help us in reducing the metal oxides to metals and making a proper choice of the reducing agent. What I am trying to tell you, that this graph is very important and helps us in making a choice of the reducing agent. Reducing agent means to reduce metal oxides into metals. What we are doing, students, we have done roasting, we have done calcination, so we obtained oxides of the metals. And why did we get oxides of the metal? Because we know that it is more easy and it is economical. It costs us less to reduce oxides of the metal by using a proper reducing agent. Our reducing agent most of the time could be carbon monoxide, or some other elements which are lying below this, as you can say magnesium, aluminium, iron, zinc. Even they can be used as reducing agent, which we will tell you which is the best reducing agent for a particular oxide of the metal. So most of the time, as I said, that in the metallurgy you obtained metal oxides, and what we know is that we will be using thermodynamic principles in order to reduce these metal oxides. Why I am using delta 0F, students? Because you are already aware, I hope you have noted this point down, that this Ellingham diagram is a graph between delta 0F values for the formation of oxides of the metals, as I have shown here. Here, for example, here you are forming copper is reacting with oxygen to form 2Cu2O. So this is an oxide of the copper, and we are plotting the delta 0F values for this. The values are shown on the y-axis, on the x-axis I have the temperature. This was solid, this is my gas, and this is also a solid. And you will see that the melting points of the oxide formed are higher than copper, so they are not going to be melted when we will do the reduction processes, will tell you, because the lattice energy of these compound oxides is quite high, so their melting point will always be higher than that of the metal, which we have shown in this side. And now let us see what is the thermodynamic principle for which we have plotted these delta 0 F values by the aluminum. You know that from thermodynamics we very well know that delta 0 is given as delta H0 minus T delta S0. And the condition of spontaneity is known to us. Condition of spontaneity. Binary reaction is spontaneous, students, when delta 0 is negative. For any reaction, when delta 0 becomes negative, the reaction is spontaneous. If delta G0 is 0, then we know it is equilibrium. And when delta G0 becomes positive, then it is non-spontaneous. That means the reverse will become spontaneous. In other words, I am saying you have a metal and you have oxygen. What you are forming is metal oxides. You are forming metal oxides posing here. So if you are forming metal oxides, what is the result? If I find the value of delta 0 for this, if delta 0 is negative, the reaction is spontaneous in the forward direction. If delta G is positive, if it is positive for the formation of the oxide, then the reaction becomes spontaneous in the backward direction. What I am trying to tell you, that we are going to dissociate the oxides of the metal to form metals. So if the delta 0 is negative, this side is more stable. If it is positive, then the reverse process will take place. So in large number of the cases, what you find is, if for a particular metal oxide at a particular temperature, the delta G becomes positive, then that metal will dissociate on heating. That's what we are trying to say. So the condition is very simple, that for a reaction to take place, for a reaction to be spontaneous, delta G should be negative. And as you can see in this graph, this is more negative downwards. As I am going upward, the values are becoming less negative. Therefore, the condition of spontaneity can be predicted from this delta G value, and these values are dependent on two things. Delta G0 is equal to delta H0 minus T delta S0. These are the values, and here you see that but I can say that if this is my y-axis, I can compare this with equation of a straight line. This is a straight line equation, students. Straight line equation. Here y-axis is my delta G0 value, and my slope, x value is my temperature, x axis is my temperature, and y-axis is my delta G0 values. Therefore the slope is nothing here but delta S0 values. So the slope of these graphs is represented or given by the entropy changes in a reaction. For example, when I say this is my metal which is solid, it is reacting with oxygen to form metal oxides. If I write, supposing I have X, and then what you are getting. Now here, students, this is solid, this is gas, this is solid. So for this, the entropy change is nothing but entropy of the products minus entropy of the reactants. You know that the entropy of gas is more than entropy of liquid is more than solid. We already know entropy. So in this case, what you find, this is gas, this is solid, solid's entropy is less. So in this case, the entropy of product is less than entropy of the reactant. So delta S is negative. So in most of the oxides which we have shown, which are being formed here, the delta S value is negative. And what will happen if delta S is negative? If delta S is negative, then what is happening, students? Delta 0 is equal to delta H0. Then delta S value is negative. Then this will become plus P plus delta st plus delta st. This is my slope. So students, slope is becoming positive. Slope is becoming positive in this case because the entropy of the products is less than the entropy of the reactants. From gas state you are going to the solid state, so this value becomes positive. That is why in this graph you see these slopes are increasing, slopes are increasing, slopes are increasing, slopes are increasing. So they have a positive slope in this diagram of the Ellingham because there is a decrease in entropy when the products are formed. This is the first point here. First thing about the Ellingham diagram which we have shown, that this is a equation of a straight line, and what our slope is delta s, and if it becomes more positive with increase in temperature, then what is the result of this? The graph will look like this. It is increasing. The slope is positive and is increasing in most of the cases because with increase in temperature, this is our delta G0 values. So as I've shown in this graph, students, so the slope will be positive. When delta S is negative, this becomes positive, and with increase in temperature, T delta S will be more than delta H0. Therefore, the slope is increasing or is positive, as you have seen in these cases. So first thing, we have explained the positive slope. And when you should know that when I write delta G0 is equal to delta H minus T delta S0, for when the oxides are formed, when the metal oxides are formed, this is metal oxide is being formed, then what is the result of this? Oxides, if you are forming oxides, students, what is this? A valency of the metal ion. If I am forming these oxides, students, delta H will be negative for these reactions. Why? Because this is a combustion reaction. Delta H is negative factor and delta S is negative here. Therefore, this term will become positive. So we write delta G0 is equal to delta H0 plus delta S into T. So as the temperature increases, what is the result of this? As temperature increases, this value will become, this is minus, this plus is becoming more. So what is happening? Delta S slope, T delta S is increasing. So there is an increase in slope. The slope is positive, as we have seen in most of the cases, except one which we will tell you why this slope is negative for 2CO plus O2CO. So first of all, we see that the values of, as I am going up the graph, the delta G0 values are becoming less and less negative. And what is the use of that, students? And as I said, force reaction to be spontaneous, delta G should be negative. More negative means more stable metal oxide. And when it becomes less negative means the stability of oxide is decreasing. Stability of oxide decreases. In other words, I am saying these oxides are becoming less and less stable as the value of delta G0 is becoming less and less negative. Or one important point is that for certain metals which are low activity, you have heard about the activity series of metals. Metals like, you already see metals like silver, mercury, gold, platinum, they have very low reactivity. In the activity series, they are lying at the bottom, so they have very low activities. And as you can see that in this diagram, very important point, that here I have shown in this graph, you see mercury, silver. This is a graph of the silver. 4Ag plus O2 gives 2Ag2O, and you can see that this value is becoming positive after around after 673 Kelvin. You can see this value is becoming positive. The delta G0F is becoming positive. After about 673 Kelvin. So beyond this temperature, what is happening? Delta G has become positive. Therefore, this will become unstable. At a temperature, maybe say 700 to 800 Kelvin, it will become unstable, and the reverse reaction will take place. That means it has low dissociation temperature. Hence, if I heat the silver oxide, you heat it above 700 or 800 Kelvin temperature. What is the result of this? That it will dissociate to give silver and oxygen. So this metal Ag2O can be reduced only by heating. This is called pyrometallurgy. Pyro means heating. By heating, we can reduce metals like mercury oxide can be reduced, gold can be reduced, similarly platinum. These metals mercury, gold, platinum, they can be obtained from their oxides simply by pyrometallurgy, simply by heating, because their dissociation temperature is very low. When their dissociation temperature is very low, what will be the result of the student? They will dissociate on heating. Therefore, metals like mercury oxide, metals like silver oxide, Au2O, they can be obtained by heating. For example, the HgO can be obtained above 673 Kelvin. It will dissociate to give mercury and oxygen. So here mercury is a liquid, you know that. So this is a solid. You can dissociate to get mercury. You don't need, this is temperature is around greater than 673 Kelvin. You don't need a reducing agent in this case. Therefore, they have the what we are saying, oxides of the gold, silver, mercury, platinum, gold, platinum, silver, mercury oxides can be reduced simply by heating. This is what we are saying is called pyrometallurgy. In the activity series, they have very low reactivity. They have very low reactivity. They are lying at the bottom of the activity series, and therefore they are lying on the top of the graph. Their delta G0 value is becoming positive at above a particular temperature. In fact, you can say that, sir, as the temperature increases, large number of metals will be delta G will become positive. But students, we have to see how much temperature is required for dissociation. When very high temperatures are required for dissociation, it is not a profitable proposition, and it is very difficult to set up very high temperatures, because in the process, if we want to set up very high temperature, then we will need very special type of equipments, and we will need to spend more time, more energy, which is not advisable and is not profitable proposition. So metals also melt at a particular temperature. So one thing is clear, that those metals like mercury, silver, their dissociation temperature low, so they will dissociate themselves, and that is what they are saying. They are reduced to form their metals from their oxides. So first thing, we said the slopes are positive, and we explained this. The slopes are positive for formation of metal oxides, and we said that it is an equation of a straight line. It is an equation of a straight line, students. And these are negative. For the formation of oxides is a combustion reaction, and since delta S value is negative, so this becomes plus delta ST term. So this is my slope. So that is why the slopes are positive, and as the temperature increases, you are saying T delta S is greater than delta H, so there is a positive slope for the elements which we have shown. Second important point is that you have seen that I have shown certain circles here. In the case of magnesium at 1,3, magnesium to magnesium oxide, students, you are saying 1363 Kelvin, sharp rise in slope. Here also for zinc you are seeing, for zinc also you are seeing zinc to zinc oxide, you are seeing 1180 Kelvin, sharp rise in the slope. So here also you are seeing for mercury around 673, mercury to mercury oxide 673 Kelvin, there is a sharp increase in slope. Why do we see sharp increase in slope, which I have shown by circles, students? In this diagram is given in the NCERT book also, students, and here there is a change in state. That means you know that solid can be converted into liquid to gas. Certain metals have very low boiling points. So here they start boiling. They have been converted from solid to gas state. So what will be the result of that, students? When they are converted from solid to liquid or liquid to gas, there is a change in phase. And what is the result of that? The metal has melted. Here first you are saying that mercury liquid plus oxygen forms mercuric oxide, that is my delta G0 value for this I am finding. But now if it becomes mercury gas, then this is my gas, this is liquid. So here it becomes mercury gas, students. So the entropy of the product will be still less. The entropy of product is more or less here. Or in other words, I am saying that delta S for this process is more negative. So the slope becomes more positive. Hence we see a sharp rise. In the slope in those cases where there is a change in state from solid to liquid or liquid to gas. As you have seen in these are the points where we have shown the circles. There is a sharp increase in the slope because the state of the metal has been changed from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. So this is the first part, students, which I am talking about the Ellingham diagram, that here we have plotted graphs of that. The most important applications and use of this is that we can make a choice. We can choose the right reducing agent for reduction of metal oxides, to metals. The most